Hello and welcome to another weekly update. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. A couple of things to talk through this week. Again, I'll try and keep this one to under 10 minutes if I can. We'll see how well that goes. First thing I want to get into is something I know we talked about last week and touched on last week, so I'm not going to spend loads of time on it, but I did write it up as a blog post because I thought it was interesting. And that's this thing where Microsoft is going to be licensing Microsoft 365 document collaboration to some of its most fiercest competitors, to Microsoft Teams, which is really interesting. So, I know a little bit more about this than I did when I spoke on it last week. So here's my blog post on it, and what's really interesting is this is very tightly scoped to who can use this. This is a closed program. It's application only. It's only for those that offer real-time online meetings and instant messaging or audio video calling as primary parts of a single business offering. And it's going to cost you. You need to pay to join the program and you need to pay to stay in the program. It's a bit unclear as to what the actual capabilities of the program are, what it gets you, but it seems like there's two things in it. It's really about exposing your Microsoft 365 documents, your Word, your Excel, your PowerPoint, and the rich collaboration and editing, the real-time editing capabilities that are in Microsoft 365, bringing that to third parties. One of the first people that are going to be using this is Zoom. And there's an amazing quote on the Microsoft blog post that paint, about Zoom, which Zoom's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on Zoom. It's just unusual to see a Microsoft blog post talk about Zoom in those lights. It's just interesting. There's two things I think about this. The first is that it's annoying that it's just people like Zoom, those big online collaboration meeting people that get to do this. I would like to see this ability to take a Microsoft 365 document and its editing capabilities and deeply integrate it into any application. I don't think I should have to be a first-party, top-tier audio-video solution and afford to be able to pay into the program to do this, but that's the way it is. So that's annoying. Hopefully, in time, it will trickle down to more developers and to more use cases. I think that would be really nice. But anyway, that's the way it is right now. And I think the other sort of thought I had on this was why is this happening? And it feels very much like a play against the EU investigations or the FTC investigations, whoever is investigating who, depending on when you listen to this. It feels like that really, where Microsoft are just trying to head off or cede some ground and offer some compromises to regulators there around their abilities and what they're offering to competitors. So I thought it was interesting. It's going to make Zoom a more compelling offering, I think, for Microsoft 365 customers, or at least it's going to remove a reason for them to go from Zoom to Teams if they can do deep collaboration of their documents inside Zoom. So we'll see how that plays out. See how real it is, see how much Zoom actually build it into their application. It's all super early days, and we're unlikely to see much kind of commentary on it unless and until Zoom comes out with something that says, hey, we've done this now, look at it, isn't it great? So all I'm going to say on that, but yeah, I thought it was interesting that Microsoft are doing this, but interesting, but maybe not surprising. Okay, let's move on. Something else. So the big update to the Microsoft Teams developer portal. So that's the thing at dev.teams.microsoft.com that you use to build Microsoft Teams apps. And they now have support in there for API-based messaging extensions. We've talked about API-based messaging extensions before, but they've been a little bit tricky to set up because they have all been manifest-based. Now, this is going to make that much easier. You can do it all in the portal. You can just import your API schema, and then you can just choose off the various methods that you want to include and associate them with different commands. It's a really nice way of doing it, actually. This is only in the developer preview, so just be aware of that. The way you change it, the way you kind of control that process, by the way, is when you're making in the Teams developer portal, when you're creating a new app, just before you click the create button, you get the choice on what manifest to use. The default is the latest GA released manifest, but you can drop that down and choose the Teams developer preview one. And then you'll get this additional capabilities, these additional options. So there's a good blog post here with some screenshots about how it looks. You can see here, this is they've chosen an API-based messaging extension, and they've got their JSON representation of their API, and now you can add commands for messaging extensions. And you can see, if I just show this one, you can see exactly as I say. You can just choose off the list. Looks like a Swagger list that you can choose from, just to choose which actions you want to implement. Very nice. That's going to make it much easier, certainly for developers to quickly put bots around their APIs, and see how it goes. That sounds good. I think what I might try and do is a walkthrough in the next couple of weeks of doing that. If I can find a nice, easy to use API, weather service probably. It's my standard go-to. So we'll see how that goes. Next up, there's been a change to how you can share to Teams from a personal app or tab. So you've been able to do this already. So you've been able to share, if you're looking at something in a Teams app and you're looking at it in an app or in a tab, you can then do kind of share to Teams, and it drops up like a nice thing. You can share it to a person, you can share it to a place, share it to a channel. And that's all great. That is also now coming to mobile. Okay, so there's no big announcement on this. It's just the documentation page is updated. So I'll put a link to the documentation page. But it is now supported for the mobile client as well, which is nice. So just be aware, if you have that as part of your flow, you can now do it in mobile as well. Or if you've got users that do it, you can tell them that's a capability they have as part of their kind of workflow process as well, which is nice, very nice. And lastly, it's that time again. It's coming. Microsoft Build is around the corner. Why does it happen so quickly? Actually, it's not happening for a little while. It's May the 21st to the 23rd. So we've got a little bit of time, but Microsoft Build is coming. And we don't know anything about the content yet. The session catalog is not yet out. Although I think we can be fairly sure it's going to be Copilot heavy, AI heavy, and everything like that heavy. But as soon as that's out, we'll let you know. You can, by the way, I noticed earlier, you can still go back and watch all of the old build content from the previous build, which is good if you didn't catch it all, and you just want to kind of get up to speed. A lot of that stuff is still relevant. There's a lot of very good explainer videos in there about ChatGPT, about large language models, about AI, that are worth looking at, and that way you can attack the session catalog when it comes out and just pick out the bits that are new and interesting. But yeah, so Microsoft Build this year is May 21st to the 23rd, so 3 days. It's going to be in person and online. It's going to be in Seattle, is where the in-person bit's going to be, and then obviously online as well, which looks like a format that Microsoft are sticking to for now. We haven't seen Microsoft move outside of Seattle yet for any of their kind of top tier conferences, which is interesting, and that looks to continue with this one as well. I'm just looking to see if I can find any other information. There isn't really very much other information about Build at this time, but we'll just have to keep tuned to see what else is happening. All right, that's everything from me. I'm going to leave you now, so I hope you have a great week, whatever it is you're doing, and I will speak to you again next time.